Disclaimer: the following video content was created intentionally in a commentary style. This will not be the overall style of the documentary. Origins was primarily offline, and small parts that were online had no value to reenact. If you hear the tone, Panther would like to direct your attention for visual effects, since most of the video is a commentary over the game Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. This was added so you would not have to watch the gameplay, but multitask other activities if you would like. If you hear the tone, simply direct your attention back to the video for additional information worth watching. Panther would like your feedback, so please comment your thoughts down below. If you have any questions on the video, feel free to contact Panther through his gamertag located in the description box or in the comments section. I'm Dividable Halo, and thank you for your time.
DDR, which was the next clan that we ran into. At this time, Cone Clan was done. Oh, before I get to that, there was Dakota 5 through 24.
Yeah.
Who we met in matchmaking. Kind of. We had a member called Bullseye, who we nicknamed Bullshit. Because his kid was literally like 9.
Yeah.
He was a kid. Even to our age of being at 15, 14, 15, 16, whatever. This guy was like 8. Yeah. And this is kind of the ideology that he had. At one point, while we were fighting on Delta Cloud, he was like, the enemy is at 0.0536 meters. And we all kind of like stopped firing just for a couple of seconds and looked at him like, dude, that is like literally right in front of you. That is like right there. And they were about 10 meters. Those bounties were about 10 meters out. And we're just like, this guy's a fucking idiot. He was loyal, but he was unskilled and he was stupid. So we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But he recruited this guy, Dakota 5 through 24, who, out of the recruits that we brought in from him, showed the most promise.
Right.
He actually sounded like a human being.
Mm-hmm.
He had a voice that wasn't the size, or it wasn't the tone of a squeaker.
Yeah. He was actually older than us.
Yeah, he is.
By like a couple years.
Yeah. I don't know how old he was back then, but I remember in third echelon he was around 20.
Yeah.
But, who quickly became, I guess what you can consider what we had in Third Delta, a NCO. He was a team leader. He helped with discipline.
Mm-hmm.
After
he quickly rose through the ranks.
Oh, yeah. After being disciplined, he became someone to discipline.
Yeah.
I remember disciplining the living shit out of him. He was rough. He had potential, but he was rough around the edges. It was extremely. I guess when Bullseye found him, he like literally got his Xbox a week ago.
Oh wow!
And found him in matchmaking, which is hilarious because I guess he didn't like have any friends on Xbox yet.
Right.
But he quickly rose up to the ranks.
Yep.
Because he has something that I noticed along with the other guys that was there. He had common sense.
Mm.
And that was the most interesting factor that came into recruiting for Panthers, was common sense, because it's not common at all.
Right.
Most people are just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Most people in this community are just fucking stupid. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And finding common sense was so rare, even on Xbox. I'm like, this is a trait that I want. I want common sense.
Right.
I want people who are intelligent. And you hang around people who are intelligent, you become ever more intelligent yourself. You learn from one another. You push to be intelligent people.
Mm-hmm.
You learn a lot from that. So he had common sense. He quickly rose up to the ranks, became an NCO. He wasn't a Panther right away though. He was a wolf.
Yeah.
Among everybody else who later became Panthers, but
yeah. And actually, he tried out to be in the first wave of Panthers, but
he failed.
Yeah.
He failed the dark test because his eyes hurt.
Yep.
Which was the point. The point was to make your eyes hurt. It was designed to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
We designed some of this training to literally work against you in every aspect. Not only were you up late, were you playing in the dark while playing on a map that's basically fucking filtered out purple.
Yeah.
Or filtered purple, and you are trying to hunt something that's invisible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a fucking headache to happen, or just a headache overall. So he quit.
Yeah, he quit.
He quit the Panthers round 1.
Yep.
But obviously we were desperate for members. We needed people, and he had the ability to do it. He just bitched And the bitching never stopped. It never stopped. And I'm not doing that to be mean, but in a way I am. The bitching never stops.
He did complain a lot.
Yeah, out of everyone, he did complain the most.
Yeah.
I know that there wasn't actually a lot of drama with the Panthers.
No,
overall,
not really.
overall there was no drama.
No.
If there was an issue, it got brought up and dealt with.
Yeah.
And that was it. It dropped.
Yeah.
Some tensions were held, but that was it.
There was none of that petty shit either.
Yeah.
It was just,
Because I was a dick.
Yeah.
I was an extreme dick to everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, besides you and Alex, I was like in game.
Yeah.
I hardly talked. I just looked at them.
Yeah.
I looked at them, gave them the instructions. After that, I just stared at them. And I would disappear from time to time, just not even be there. And they'd be practicing, and you guys would be over watching it, whatever. And every now and again, I'd come by, and they just fucking just try harder.
Yeah.
Because I was the best analogy I can kind of put into this was Gibbs from NCIS. That was a huge inspiration that I had for a character for this Panther thing, was because I wanted that mentality, that ability to walk into a room and everybody's like shit,
Yeah.
fuck. But we ran into DDR. I can't remember how. I think it was in matchmaking.
It might have been, yeah.
We became an ally. I was working with what was it? DDR guitar guy.
Yeah.
I was working with him, and we were a close alliance. He had common sense, but he was a hick.
Oh, yeah.
He was just a straight up hick.
Yeah.
But he had enough common sense that I could tolerate him. But then there was DDR Punisher, who we now know as Panther 14, who he and I did not get along.
Yeah.
That alliance was good, and oh man, that was it bad. It was brutal. This is when we realized how clandestine operations can really affect a clan. I started using psychology against DDR Guitar Guy to get his own cousin, DDR Punisher, who helped found the clan with him, out of the clan. And I know Shadow Sniper 172 stated in his interview that, a clan will never end unless the leader ends it, which is true to a degree.
Right.
If you demoralize that group of people or that foundation or that person who leads the clan, you can end the clan.
Yeah.
And at least that's my opinion about it. The fact that, yeah, it is leader's overall choice, but at the same time, you can really be a huge factor into that choice. But the DDR guitar guy, I don't know what happened. We had some fallout, and we got into it. We got into a war. I don't remember how it started, but I remember DDR Punisher being kicked out. At one point, he was able to come back after our war started because I assumed they were desperate for members.
Right.
And desperate for combat.
Yeah.
They tried to take over Delta Cloud. It wasn't any help, obviously. The thing was just too tactically great, but at the same time overpowered.
Yeah.
It was just, overall, it was overpowered.
Yeah.
But we ended up winning the war. As I remember that too. We didn't win. We didn't lose a lot of wars because again we were fighting a different style.
Right.
We weren't fighting the normal, it's conventional warfare, two armies running into one another and seeing who survives. It wasn't like that for us. We were doing unconventional stuff.
Right.
So, we won the war. We became an alliance again, but DDR Punisher, who fought against us on almost every battlefield that I can remember, he saw what we were able to do and saw what we did and wanted in.
Right.
And at the time, that's when I thought he could probably be a spy. Because we didn't get along.
Right.
And the fact that we didn't get along was weird.
Right.
And I thought we can be mature about it. Because you gotta think, beforehand, the only Panther that we had that wasn't from the enemy team was 39.
Yeah.
52, 24, and 17 were all on enemy teams.
Yeah.
Which was Shadow Fox, who never became an actual Panther.
Right.
Because his excuse was he didn't want to change his gamer tag. So we...
Yeah.
And I wanted that gamer tag saved for him because I wanted to be said or noted that was his gamer tag.
Right.
That was his.
Yeah.
But that actually wasn't until a bit later that he became one.
Right.
Because at the time, the algorithm, the initial algorithm was you take my numbers times 2 times 3 and times 4.
Yeah.
And that would give you the Panther, those other Panther numbers. That would give you 39, no, it's 26, 39, 52.
Yeah, because it was originally the 4 of us.
Yep.
And
then I had to develop a whole new algorithm when 14 or DDR prime came
yeah,
into the picture.
because once you multiplied 13 or 130210 with 5 or higher, it wouldn't match the algorithm.
Exactly, it went out to some other random shit, and it was like
or it wouldn't match the pattern.
And we kind of stuck with the idea of having the 0 in the 3rd and 6th spot. Yeah, with the 0 in the 3rd spot, and the 0 in the 3rd place, and the last digit was also a 0.
Yeah,
and it just kind of stuck.
Yeah,
and it kind of just added more to what we were to become.
Yeah,
but that algorithm was too easy to beat. I mean, and also the fact that that we were gaining more members, and we didn't have that algorithm wasn't going to fit.
Right.
So I had to create something completely new, which, oh my god, did I totally just cheat. The algorithm that we used from that point on to a certain degree, we took my numbers. If you take a calculator out, you can do this with me. You take 130210 plus 1100 or 1100, and you press equals, and you keep pressing that until you get to 140110. That's how we got that first number.
Yeah.
When the 0 was in the 3rd and 6th spot, that's how we got those numbers. So we press it again, and that will give you 17, and then 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 20, I think maybe 20, let me look. There might have been 27. Nope. 28, 29, 31, 32, and then that was it for that algorithm.
Right.
Because there was another one that I created.
Right.
So that was just taking my numbers and adding 1100 to it was all we did. And we just spam the shit out of the equal sign until it was in the right digits.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was all the algorithm. And no one was able to figure that out.
Yeah.
Even 22 took that to a professor at his college, and he didn't know what it was. My best guess is that, I mean, it's I wouldn't really call it an algorithm. I'm just going off that because A, it sounds professional, and B, it is probably the only thing I can think of that fits that without being you just went in the calculator, typed 1100, spam the living shit out of the equals button until you came with the number you liked.
Yeah.
So, but we used that, and it was actually really helpful.
Yeah.
14 became one of the most useful Panthers that we've had.
Yeah.
He ran a lot of operations, and that I'll cover in the future of this documentary. But he did an extraordinary amount of work.
Yeah.
After you retired, he became my second in command.
Yeah.
He was my secretary, my advisor, and a friend.
You know, even before I retired, he was already your left-hand man.
Yeah, he was. And I totally took advantage of this too. And you can't blame him for doing that. If we were in a raid, or not really a raid, but like we were in a combat situation, and I got an assassination on a leader, and we're about 2 hours into the raid before that assassination happened, I wouldn't go back there and get it. I'd make him go back and get the video feed, and I'd go in there and take the pictures after he got the video feed.
Oh my god.
We did that a lot in 3rd Echelon. I took so much advantage of him. And I don't regret it, but I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Because even I didn't want to do that shit. That was just fucking annoying. But there was a lot that itself was. Oh, I need to show you those pictures I was telling you about. Yeah. He has not seen these pictures before. These are 3rd Delta pictures, and you guys will see these too. That he has not seen since 3rd Delta, or since we took these pictures in 2010. If I can find them on my computer, so bear with me. Okay, so 3rd Delta pictures. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Oh.
So this was taken in 2011.
Right.
This was on Delta Tower. I don't know if this was 3rd Echelon or not. This may have been 3rd Echelon because 3rd Echelon started up in 2011.
Yeah, they were all wearing ODST armor. So.
Yeah, this is Delta. This must be Delta. Yeah. 3rd Delta because you can see some of the Panthers over here.
Actually, it looks like
that looks like it's you right there with the blue.
Yeah,
Alex in the red, and Cohen the green, the light green. Because I didn't. Yeah. He had a lighter shade of green because each Panther had their own color.
Right.
Their own distinct color.
Yeah.
There's Dakota.
Yeah.
Because he had the commando.
Right.
So there was that picture. Here's another picture of that same shot.
Yeah.
That's definitely you.
Yeah.
That's definitely Dakota. I'm almost 100% sure that's Colm. As for these other guys, I looked at their gamer tags. They're just randoms now.
Oh, really?
They're not even in the community.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised by that.
Huh.
There's Alex.
Yep.
You can see with the flaming helmet.
Yeah.
There's me with my back turned,
Yep.
wearing the an old Panther uniform,
Yeah.
a very outdated one.
Yeah.
As you can see, most of the guys are wearing, most of the Panthers are wearing operator, and we kind of kept that vibe.
Yeah.
But myself, JFO has always just been my helmet.
Right.
It just fits my character. Every time I tried getting away from JFO, it didn't fit.
Yeah.
JFO was my helmet.
Yeah.
It just fits so well.
Mm-hmm.
Now this was a picture of training,
Mm.
of discipline training, where if you did not listen, you were shot and killed. And that's Colm getting shot in the back by me.
Yeah.
Which I love how you can't even see my face on both the pictures so far.
Yeah.
My back's turned, and then this one, the smoke's covering up my face, which is
Pretty spooky.
It is kind of spooky. There it is.
Oh,
My
yep,
face.
there's-
JFO
there it
helmet.
is, yeah.
And this is like I said, this is outdated Panther gear that we had in 2011, and this was definitely in Third Delta.
Oh yeah. This is
This is
early.
yeah, because this would have been 210. That would have been in February,
Yeah.
which would have been just a couple months after.
Yeah. This is way before we had specialized armor.
Yep. And you have another line picture
Yeah.
here, and I think this next one is where we start getting to the older pictures. There we go.
Ooh.
Remember that?
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, that was fun.
So we have the first person in the red. That is Alex.
Yep.
And what he liked as gear.
Yeah.
He liked it as armor.
Yeah.
We have 26 in the front wearing the black and blue.
Yeah, blue.
As for the guy in the white, I think that might be Ace or Comb.
I don't know.
I'm sure it's Ace though.
I don't remember.
Or that could have been Blaine.
Could have
He
been.
was online at that time too. I honestly don't know. I should
I
probably
don't
look that up
remember. Yeah.
and see who that was. And then of course there's me wearing the scout armor, the black and green. Driving.
Yeah.
Yep. We have a couple more pictures of these too.
Oh yeah, that brings back memories.
Yeah, it was just I don't know why he was obsessed with that fire helmet or that fire thing. In fact,
Yeah.
I had it, but I didn't have it at the time. I only had.
Well, he bought he bought the legendary
Yep,
edition. Yeah.
yep. That's how he got it. Remember that? I don't know what we were trying to do with this.
I don't remember either. I think
I-
we were just screwing
We
around.
went in there with the intentions of doing training, and then one of us Alex found this, and
Yeah.
then we just completely got distracted.
Yeah.
And look at the date. This is in 10/16/10.
Oh,
That's 2010. That is like almost
that was like a few days or like
yeah, something like that.
or like yeah, it must have been maybe a week after it came out.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then you have Alex and I with these two snipers, and which
Yeah.
is kind of ironic because we have the Panther and you have the Wolf back there,
Yeah.
which is just kind of awesome. This is an
Ooh.
interesting picture. I actually really like this picture.
Yeah.
That's you running toward the Phantom, and it looks like a really badass picture. to be
It does
honest.
look really good.
Yeah, I really like that picture. There's us fucking around again, and that's the end of the Third Delta
Alright.
pictures. But you gotta admit, that's some good stuff. I do have a lot of pictures here, but look at all these pictures I have to go through, though.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so much to go through.
Yeah.
Before this is what I was talking about the USR.
Right.
Yeah, this was after. I'll get to this a little bit later, but this is
Is that me?
that's you right there.
Yeah.
That's you with
yeah.
their security in the black and yellow. This is when we had more customizable Panther gear.
Yeah.
You can see you here with the security. You have Dakota here with Gungner.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's General Black there, from what I understand.
Hmm.
Also known as Panther 18.
Right.
I think that's Cameron because he's got the pilot helmet.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Cameron.
Over here, this is
Who is that?
that might be 14. Yeah, Theater Punisher.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was him, and then obviously me.
Yeah.
And this map was a Pentagon.
Yeah.
And we were aiming for something to be more of a military structured.
Right.
But so with that, that's basically the end of Third Delta overall before we met the United Nations,
Mm-hmm.
which the United Nations we found by accident. Panther 52 went on YouTube, and found typed in Halo clans
Right.
so we could make more allies, and found a Mr. General JB's recruitment video.
Yeah.
Who has been harassing me about this documentary. I can prove this to you with my phone.
You can prove it.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. Let me find him real quick. Maybe I deleted it. Yeah, I deleted it.
Oh, sad.
He has been on my ass about this documentary, like day in and day out. I gave him some sneak peeks of the trailers that I showed you.
Yeah.
2 that are out and one that's currently not out. But yeah, he's been on my ass about this. But we're gonna before we get into that, before we get into the end days of Third Delta, we're gonna talk about your op that you did.
Yeah.
And this op is very important to the community because we all know someone who sprung out of this op, which was a huge controversy between me and Legling for the longest time.
Yeah.
But I couldn't say anything because it was part of my operation that we were doing, or our op. It became a joint op.
Yeah.
Because
towards the end, yeah.
Yeah, because it was more of a security issue.
Mm-hmm.
There was this guy named Caboose Jr., who I can't remember how we made contact.
I don't remember either.
But he had this clan, and I didn't really see eye to eye.
Right.
But you had the opportunity to infiltrate.
Mm-hmm.
And you met this lovely person.
Oh, this person.
Who flirted with you.
Yes, it was very strange.
What was her name?
She was called Fun
XD.
XD.
Fun XD. At the time, it was Sponge Fun.
Yeah, which was...
It's SPJ Fun or something.
Whatever.
Yeah. I ended up saying Fun.
Yeah.
Because it flowed better.
Yeah.
And she ended up actually using this camera tag because I did not want to say Sponge Fun. It sounded so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it did.
So I kept calling her Fun. She got pretty upset about that. But she flirted with you a lot
did.
while you were on that op.
Yeah.
And I guess her and Caboose were dating.
I guess...
He was like... He was our age. And she was 13.
Yeah.
And they were dating on Xbox Live.
Yeah.
And... Which is funny. But... She ended up liking you.
Yeah.
For some reason.
For some reason.
We don't know why.
I have no idea.
But... what happened was that she left Caboose's clan.
Yep.
And she joined our group, Third Delta.
Mm-hmm.
And she started liking me.
And that's when we realized that she's a spy.
To a degree, yeah, we realized something was off. A 13-year-old girl who just is liking everybody.
Yeah.
Especially people who have power. That's how we noticed it. Because when 26 infiltrated, he kind of surpassed everybody else because he had that Panther mentality.
Yeah, I rose up to his right hand man very quickly.
Yeah, she had the thing for power. That's how we figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
And when we brought, or when when 26 came back to Third Delta, he kind of left Fun there. But she ended up following him.
Yeah.
The Third Delta, and then for some reason she started liking me. Well, we kind of put that one together, and we knew from that point. Okay, she's probably a spy.
Yeah.
She's attracted to power. She sees that we have more of an ability than Caboose Jr., and she's latching onto that.
Yeah.
So we needed to kind of figure out a way to get her to confess. Because at the time, we didn't really know how to prosecute somebody like that. How do we prove that?
Yeah.
So at the time, we didn't know what this was called, but we knew what we had to do, which was honeypot, which is what we know it as now.
Yeah.
Honeypot is probably the best in espionage.
Yeah.
Espionage is very dirty. It's a very dirty. It's very dirty work in espionage, but the honeypot is by far the cleanest, to a degree. It can get very brutal and very emotional if you don't do it right.
Yeah.
But for counterintelligence, we use the honeypot, which is seduction. Flirting and acting like it was this whole thing was going on was like legitimate was our key. And we were in a firefight match, and you ended up saving her from something.
Yeah.
In firefight.
Yeah.
While we were it was a custom firefight.
Yeah.
You either shot a grunt or killed the lead, or I don't know. It was a total sploosh, I guess. Sploosh moment. And she comes out and says, "I need to tell you guys something. I'm a spy." And we're all like, yes, we knew it. I mean, the entire 3rd Delta knew.
Oh, yeah.
We all informed them
Yeah.
not to trust her. We think she's a spy. We just need to prove it.
Yeah.
And...
yeah, we all knew.
We all knew. And we were just like... And she was so upset
and
about
we,
that.
we just acted like, it was a problem. We were all like, oh, Xbox girlfriend. Wow, what a...
Oh, it was great. It was great. But we all called it out. We all knew it was like...
Yeah.
It was hilarious. Because at that moment we were like, this is great. We knew we were right.
Yeah.
But we just needed some sort of proof, which a confession obviously was that proof.
Yeah.
So that was hilarious. And that op was mainly intelligence, to be honest. I don't think we assassinated... No, we did assassinate him later down the road, but not with your op. He went into a clan war with us because we ended up assassinating Fun.
Yeah.
Or 14 did.
Yeah, someone did.
14. Because he didn't like her.
Yeah.
He did not like her.
No.
He went with the war with us, too.
Yeah.
That was funny.
And I do remember a little something he did.
Well, do tell. This is all declassified. We're trying to declassify as much information as we can, so get it out.
So he was very mad that Fun came over to 3rd Delta. So he started sending her dick pics.
Nice.
Using his Connect.
Well, that solves that.
Yeah, he was a huge creep.
Oh, yeah. By far. But,
it was bad.
Yeah. I don't know where he is now. I don't have any pictures of him. Well, maybe I will on that other account.
But imagine this. A 16-year-old...
We don't know for sure, but...
He was probably around our age at the time.
Teenager.
Yeah.
Older, mid-teenager
sending his penis to a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Imagine that for a second.
And that's love.
And yeah, that's love.
I love you, baby. Look at my erection.
Let's have phone sex.
That's basically what I turned into.
Yeah.
Probably.
Sending
voice messages over one another.
Yeah.
I love you. No, I love you more. No, I love you more. I'm pretty sure that's the extent. You remember watching that Sanity Not Included?
Yeah.
Where they had an Xbox Live date on Reflection.
Yeah.
And you gotta just fucking making fun of them.
Yeah.
I should pull a clip up with this because that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So the end of 3rd Delta was when we ran to the UN. We fought alongside the UN a lot.
Yeah.
Before we ended the clan. And it was, I want to say about a month that we fought alongside them. I think we were in a war. I don't know. Maybe it was with Caboose at the time.
Maybe.
It was towards the end, so maybe. What happened was that I remember the situation so well. We were in a fight, and that same day, the UN came and helped us, and we won.
Mm-hmm.
And that same day, later that day, they asked for our help in a war. And they were against TNG, from what I understand, the Next Generation.
Yeah.
That's who they were fighting. And I remember spawning with Cone, 37. And because there was only a limited amount of spaces. It was you, me, and 37.
Yeah.
And we went into that game, and the first thing that we did, which was just something you don't experience anymore, and which is very sad, and I miss it. When we spawned in, the first thing we did was walk up to one another. I walked up to General and Shadow Sniper while you guys were both on my flanks, and we talked.
Yeah.
While the UN guys were out there fighting the battle, we talked.
Yeah.
And they welcomed me to welcome to the battlefield, whatever. And we discussed what the situation was, and we moved on from there.
Yeah.
We gave tactical command to Shadow Sniper and JB, primarily Shadow Sniper, had tactical command over the UN. I had command over you guys.
Yeah.
How I saw the future to the Panthers was in that battle. Because while they were giving call-outs, we said nothing.
Right.
My call-outs reflected on their call-outs.
Right.
So whatever they did, we supported through an espionage, or not really an espionage, but a special force aspect.
Right.
Which I thought was probably the most amazing thing I've ever experienced, because at that point, that was the point where I knew what we could become.
Mm-hmm.
when I saw that. When I experienced that, I knew we had the ability to do something great. And not about a month later, whatever, I talked about Operation Black Hole. I talked to Shadow about it before I talked to the Delta members.
Right.
He was on board. He wanted us there. He saw how good we were and how loyal we were. I mean, it took us a long time to get in contact with the UN.
Right.
Even to talk with the goddamn guys. It took
Yeah.
about a month. God say, it was ridiculous. And I spammed him pretty hardcore. I mean, I sent him about a message every other day to get in. Or not to get in, but to talk. But we became a very close ally, very, very fast.
Yeah.
And I was nervous right away that they would think that I was a spy. Not that they would know anything about what we intended to do for the future of Third Delta.
Right.
Because we've already kind of developed. Third Delta was basically our beta clan. This was for us to see what we wanted to do throughout Halo.
Right.
And the fact that we met more military clans that day changed everything.
Yeah.
Back then, before we met the United Nations, everything was simple.
Yeah.
It was still simple when we understood how the community worked with the UN,
Right.
but it was a lot simpler without knowing that information. And
Yeah.
I know, Cameron's told me this multiple times, or 52 has told me this multiple times, that he hated that day and hated doing that and regrets it because it destroyed Third Delta.
Yeah, it did.
And you have to understand, he was a kid.
Yeah.
He was young. He was so inspired what Third Delta was doing and the fact that we were winning these battles. He did not want to let that go, and I don't blame him. I really don't. It was something that you go with those wins, and through a way that you haven't. You're fighting a style that no one else has really combated yet. It's a good feeling to know that you're on the right side, or you're on a side that's winning.
Right.
Through legitimate tactics.
Right. Yeah.
So when we developed Operation Black Hole, which was to merge Third Delta, those who volunteered to go in the United Nations, and become part of the UN. And Shadow Sniper was on board for it. JB was on board for it.
Right.
But before that, right before that, the issue with the TNG was kind of coming to a ceasefire. And Third Delta, and I remember this too, it was very interesting, held basically a little peace summit,
Yeah.
if you will, with the TNG members who were formerly called Venom or whatever, and the United Nations. We were a peacekeeper at that point.
Right.
We were the third party to help host a peace treaty between the United Nations, the clan that we all know and respect, and a war that they fought with the TNG or the Next Generation, aka Venom. And Third Delta did this with the history you guys just heard of, where we did not know what we were doing.
Yeah.
We winged it.
Yeah.
Third Delta was nothing but a big trial and seeing what worked and what did not work. From the beginning, from Halo 2 to now was just pulling it out of our ass, seeing if it was going to work, and if it worked, then sweet. At the time, I had created some tactics that I now understand them completely, but at the time I just developed them. I now, like, for example, the pincer movement that we know with two enemies going around the flanks, or double envelopment, I'd made that without even knowing what it was. I created military tactics without even knowing what they were at the time.
Right.
To me, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That I created a tactic that already existed without even knowing it existed. To me, that's just outstanding. I love the fact that I did that, and I don't know why I did it.
Right.
But my main inspiration as a kid was the fact that when I used to play those little toy soldiers, the green ones, the green toy soldiers.
Yeah.
Or you'd have the gray ones too.
With the little stands beneath them so they can stand up.
Yeah. I would give the enemy, most kids give themselves the big army and they'd versus the little army and whatever, or the less superior army and fight and win. Yeah, I did the opposite. I gave the enemy the advantage and give myself a small. Funny thing, I gave myself the coolest looking guys, but the lowest amount of them.
Right.
And I set up the enemy stuff tactically.
Yeah.
I'd have the mortar guys kind of somewhere in the middle, but surrounded, in the front of them, they'd have, like, infantry guys, barriers and stuff.
Right.
And I'd have this small group of guys, 5, 6 people, little green guys, and tactically and strategically place them in spots to engage the enemy.
Right.
And I did that, and that was probably one of the things that I guess psychologically was probably a huge advantage to making the Panthers.
Right.
But one more thing which is kind of interesting. When I was a kid too, my dad and I used to play chess all the time,
Yeah.
and he'd always win, always win.
Yeah.
Until I won through a method that he didn't see coming. He wasn't so much the fact that I beat him, because we played for about a good month straight, and I always got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
But I kept getting better.
Right.
And my dad's pretty competitive.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
He was pretty competitive, and we were playing chess, and he may not have been paying attention completely to what we were doing, but I won through a way he had never seen before.
Yeah.
And he used to play a lot of chess. I'm not saying that I created a whole new way to beat chess. I'm just saying, in the situation that how we were playing, the way I won was the reason why he didn't want to play with me anymore. Because I was getting smarter, and I was understanding how he played chess. I was understanding the psychology of him when I was like 8. I mean, you understand, like when I was a kid, I didn't go outside a lot.
Right.
I mean, I was inside a lot with my sister.
Yeah.
And I taught myself I entertained myself through my imagination.
Right.
To the point where, you have these little magnets
Yeah.
that you put on the fridge that are like the alphabet, T or X or
Yeah.
whatever. When I was bored and then I didn't have, if I didn't have toys to play with or got tired of playing with them, I'd grab those magnets like a T and act like I was a fighter. I'd grab like an A and chase it around. And I'd imagine, and I don't know how kids do it these days, because I'm not obviously in this generation of the youth, but
Right.
well, I mean, I still am, but not that youth. I don't know how they imagine things anymore, because you have to know all the technology. Back then, I didn't have that.
Right.
Back then, it was my imagination, and I didn't read a lot of books. I mean, I was more curious on just imagining these massive space battles,
Mm-hmm.
these massive combat situations.
Yeah.
And it was just all, to me, and it's probably the most weirdest thing ever for me, because we see the action on the TV
Yeah.
or on the computer screen, but to see it in your head is outstanding,
Yeah.
because you can, it's a whole new dimension, and you kind of lose focus of reality
Yeah.
when you're doing it. At least I did, where I didn't really know what was going around me, but when I was imagining these scenarios and imagining playing as a kid, it was like a whole new experience. Like, I wasn't there, but I was creating what I wanted.
Right.
It was outstanding. But that by far was probably the best thing about Third Delta, and about going through everything psychologically that helped set up what we were going to do next for just Third Echelon, but throughout the future career of Panthers and myself to, develop a 5-year career in espionage in this community and do something that not a lot of people did.
Right.
There were some copycat agencies that we ran into, and that was annoying as hell. Like we had Leglink and his little copycat group.
Yep.
Which I thought was hilarious. The kid didn't even play Splinter Cell. I looked at his bio, or I looked at his compared games. He never even played the game once.
Wow.
He made a group called Splinter Cell, and it literally had the guys copy our gamer tags to a degree.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's like you don't even understand where this is coming from and how this is applied.
He literally called the clan Splinter Cell?
It was the Splinter Cell clan, yeah.
Oh,
the stupidest thing ever. The only other copycat, or not the only other, but another copycat of, not really Third Echelon, I don't know. They claim that they were before Third Echelon, but until they can actually prove it, I say blow it out your ass. Because I can prove with pictures of when we started up. Yeah. If they can't prove that, then I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. I don't know. I'm showing as much evidence as I can. You can sit there, and that's fine. If people want to sit there and call bullshit on my stories, that's fine. Yeah. I understand. I don't understand, actually, but I understand that people are sometimes just don't want to believe what they're told. Right. I get that. Whatever. Yeah. But I'm going to try to back this up with as much evidence as I can. But when we ran into, you remember ShadowNet, I assume. They were very, very small at the time. Maybe. But I'm not going to get into too much. I'll get into this later. But ShadowNet was actually, if you know anything from the Splinter Cell story, ShadowNet is a NSA type of deal in the Splinter Cell story. Yeah. And their agents were shit. I mean, I remember hearing every weekend of shadow net agent basically getting caught. It was just
Wow.
like, really? Come on. You're killing me. And at this point, we already had third echelon up, but I'm not going to get into that. But Operation Black Hole, the end of Third Delta, was probably a huge change for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when you retired.
Yeah.
You retired.
Well, the first time.
Yeah. You came back.
Yeah.
Came out of retirement to help out a little bit with
Yeah.
V100.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that operation did drive some people away.
oh yeah. I know 39. I think 39 joined.
Mm-hmm.
I know 52 joined.
He reluctantly joined.
Yeah.
I remember he was really mad.
I know 14 joined.
Yeah.
Jugger, he joined too.
Yeah.
And then Dakota joined as well. He became a colonel.
Mm.
Although I cheated through those ranks. So I'll get to that next.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cheated through those ranks.
Yeah.
I'll get to that. I'll get to that to the next part of the documentary. But this is a conclusion to the origins of Panthers, the origins of Third Delta, and overall myself on what we tried, what we built, what we improvised on, and what we went with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of it was just trial and error. We learned from our mistakes, and we have a lot more mistakes coming up too. Spartans,
Yeah.
remember them? Remember them at all?
I think so. Yeah.
Where we decided to confront them on a whole military confrontation and got our asses whooped on our own fire base.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was stupid. I don't know what the fuck we were thinking.
Yeah.
We gave them, yeah, it was that. We'll get into that coming up, but that's basically the end of this origin story.